All right, there, guys. Happy Saturday night. We are taking a look at the weather forecast for the next couple of days. Heat's going to be the big story. If you have any questions, let me know. We'll be on here for a while, just breaking down the numbers from today, which, by the way, was very hot. You can see 97 was the official high temperature at San Antonio International. It was a very toasty May day. Now, it was so hot that we actually tied this record right here, which is the 1995 record. And that was at 97. So we tied the record. We didn't break it today, but we were close. 86 is the normal. So we were about 11 degrees above that. The morning low was 71, and today was a nice day, just very hot, about 11 degrees above normal. No rain. Sunrise this morning was at 6:42. Sunset was at about 8:19, so about 20 minutes ago or so. If you're wondering what the pollen count is, as of this morning, everything is light. There's nothing heavy out there. 350 on mold, pigweed at 10, willow at 50, and grass at 20. Again, all are light on this Saturday night. Now, let's chat about the drought. This has been the big story, obviously, for the last several months as things worsened. Now, so far, the state of Texas, 79% of the state is considered in drought. Now, what does that mean? So anything that's above moderate or above, that's what is considered drought. The yellow shades you're seeing on the map technically is not drought, and you can see northeast Texas and portions of east Texas north of Houston and east of I-45. They're actually in pretty good shape. They've seen some beneficial rain in the last several months for the spring season. But for us, for San Antonio, we've seen a few waves of energy move through in the last couple months, but just hasn't put a dent in it. And you'll see Hondo from Pleasanton, Atascosa County to Uvalde County. It's pretty bad, right? It's exceptional drought. In San Antonio, that maroon color, right, that darkish reddish color is starting to move into the southwestern portion of Bexar County. So if there's any indication we need rain, we're in desperate need of it. And anywhere north of Kendall County into, let's say Gillespie County, up 281 basically into Johnson City, that's where it's exceptional as well. So this is a bad setup. We need rain. And right now the extended forecast stays very dry. Every day it's going to be just hot and sunny, and maybe a few areas to our west and north may see some isolated activity, but our forecast in San Antonio stays dry for a while. Now take a look at this. Yesterday's high was 96, I believe. I'll have to double check that, but today's high was 97. We stay hot for the next 5 to 7 days. Take a look at the month as a whole. 101, the high temperature this time last weekend. This was on the 7th. That was 101. That was a record, by the way. 101 on Sunday. This past week, every day has been in the upper 90s, just insanely hot. And, it just continues, right? And you can see right there, live look outside looks pretty good. It is 96 still at Stinson, so despite it being after sundown, it's still very warm. There's a good amount of high-level cloud cover out there, but as far as rain, there's only some spotty activity west of the city, and we'll show you that in just a bit. Easterly winds at 8 miles an hour. Humidity, not too bad. It's actually a nice night, just a little warm. It's 90 degrees still in San Antonio, and just vary from the south side to the north side. And Stinson's at 96, and then areas around Bernie probably around, let's say, 89 and 90. So we'll show you that in just a bit. Across the state, there is a surface high out along and near the Gulf. And remember, around high-pressure systems, they spin clockwise, I should say. They're clockwise. And why that's important, well, winds are off the Gulf of Mexico. That continues to keep our humidity trend high. There's a dry line out west, but we're kind of squeezed in both these systems, and that's why it's pretty hot out there. Speaking of hot, look at this. Cotulla at 97. 97 at Pearsall. Pleasanton's at 88. Bernie, by the way, 82. So it's still pretty warm out there, and especially from South Bexar County pointing west towards, Frio County, towards Maverick County, towards Kinney County. I mean, it's all like 90s out there, and winds aren't helping much. There's a weak boundary out there as well. You can see kind of the difference in winds at this hour, and some cooler air out north and east at Hallettsville at 81, but really everyone's kind of in this routine of things where it's pretty hot. So speaking of that boundary, there is that little, looks like a surface frontal boundary between southern Bexar County and Atascosa County. You can kind of see that northerly wind. What I think it is, there was some isolated storm activity, and sometimes from these storms you can get outflows winds that spread out laterally from the storms, and that's why you see a little bit of a breeze from San Marcos to New Braunfels. So those are sustained wind speeds. So it's a little breezy in San Antonio, and it will be in the middle 80s through about, let's say, 9 and 10, and it'll be partly to mostly cloudy. So you can see that shot outside. Some of those mid to high level clouds, and sundown again was about 20 minutes ago. And let's take a look. So here's radar. You can see some of the activity, yeah, right there, just north of Johnson City around 6:30. There was that isolated downpour that moved in. And some of these downpours, again, can create, outflows and, winds spreading out laterally on the surface. So that's why we have a northerly breeze in San Antonio right now. Some of the energy moved in from the north, and that was earlier this evening. At this hour, it is mostly dry and cloudy. Maybe a sprinkle northeast of Uvalde and north of Highway 90, south of Utopia, but it is mostly dry on radar this evening. So something to keep an eye on. And we did see a few storms light up in northern Mexico earlier today as well, just after the 4 and 5 o'clock hour, but those have since fallen apart, and right now it's pretty warm outside. So tonight's forecast, let's just take a look at temperatures right now. So they're still really toasty. It's just what's interesting is those wind speeds right there. And you'll see across much of the region, especially from Bexar County to Kerr County, Kendall County, Bandera, I mean, we have that northeast breeze in place at about 20 to 25 miles an hour. So it's a little windy out near San Marcos because of that thunderstorm collapsing, but it is breezy in San Antonio as a result of that shower / non-severe storm collapsing around the 6 and 7 o'clock hour. But again, it's quiet, and you can see the high-level cloud out there with our tower cam. Tomorrow's forecast, guys, if you have any plans, I mean, it's pretty good. Tomorrow's going to be 98, though, so get ready for a hot Sunday. It's going to be way hotter than normal, right? I mean, we should be around 86 for the month of May. We're going to be instead at 98, mostly clear, mostly sunny, and looking pretty good. Grace asks, will there be any storms tonight? Futurecast looks like a storm moves in. Let me see. Now, typically with these storms, Grace, you can usually, with the help of daytime heat and that dry boundary out west, that dry line, you can get storms and thunderstorms igniting in the afternoon and the late evening. But typically after sunset, these storms start to collapse and they die out and they lose their strength, the heating of the day. And without that, and temperatures cooling down in the late night hours, these storms collapse as a result. So you can see here's Futurecast. This is one model. And it has the cloud cover out north and moving through San Antonio, but no rain tonight. That's Futurecast, along with temperatures. Now tomorrow morning, 7:30, it's a little cloudy out east, but mostly clear in San Antonio. Lower 70s as you wake up early Sunday. So if you're going out to church or if you're going out to HEB tomorrow morning, if you have any plans early Sunday, it's going to be clear. And then tomorrow afternoon, we can do it all over again. It's going to get hot. So you can see tomorrow afternoon about 98 in San Antonio. 100 at Floresville, 100 at Pleasanton, Century Mark out near Cotulla tomorrow. So this is just a look at your Sunday afternoon. It just gets toasty. You can see 97 the high in Kerrville. And basically every area south and west of San Antonio, with the exception of coastal areas, is likely going to max out at 100 degrees, if not a couple degrees warmer than that. And I say that because if you look out near Eagle Pass, Carrizo Springs, Del Rio, they climb into the lower 100s and the triple digits. And anywhere from Pleasanton to George West to especially Eagle Pass and Del Rio, that's where they're experiencing more of that dry heat, right? More of that desert-like heat, as opposed to the humid heat towards Beeville, towards Victoria, towards Port Lavaca, where they have to deal with that heat index and heat indices. And again, tomorrow, just bottom line, hot. But this is just a forecast model. This is what we're expecting tomorrow for San Antonio specifically, 98 degrees, clear skies, mostly sunny. And if you want to blame anything, blame this right here, high pressure. It's going to set up shop right overhead through tomorrow, through Monday, through Tuesday, and it doesn't really do anything. It'll wobble around for the rest of the work week, but the thing is, if it's near us, and especially if it's overhead and around the region, it's enough to push down on the atmosphere and compress the air. So hot air rises, but underneath that high pressure, it just goes back around and it gets hot and it stays hot. And you can see record challenging heat for the next 72 hours. It stays toasty. I mean, tomorrow's high is the orange color. And, well, I mean, on this graphic, the orange colors are the forecast high temperatures. The red colors are the daily records. So you can see each afternoon is going to challenge each one of these records. So, for example, tomorrow's daily record was set back in 2003. Same thing on Monday's record. That was just a hot stretch of time in that year during that month. And you can see on Tuesdays, if you look closely, I know it's kind of hard to see with the graphic, but on Tuesday, the daily record is 97, and that was set back in 2013, so about 9 years ago. So again, the forecast highs are the orange numbers, the daily records are the high records, the red colors are the high records, and you can see each afternoon we'll either be hitting the record high or maxing out above it. 98 tomorrow, 99 on Monday, and 98 on Tuesday, and this pattern doesn't really shift for the next 7 days. All right, let's talk about something that's more fun. You can see the lunar eclipse is going to set place and take shape tomorrow night. It's not tonight. I mean, you can see the full moon out tonight. It's bright. It's nice. It's just a little cloudy out there right now, depending on where you're at. The high-level clouds from the north are moving in, but otherwise mostly quiet. It's just those high clouds may obstruct your viewing of the moon tonight. Now, again, the lunar eclipse, or it starts to enter Earth's, or what we call the umbra. The umbra is just the Earth's shadow. And if you look at the graphic, on the right side of the graphic, you can see the lunar eclipse larger scale. So when a lunar eclipse occurs, it's the sun, and the Earth passes in between the moon and the sun. As a result, the sun casts a shadow on the moon, and the moon experiences the Earth's shadow as a whole. So that is what is going to happen tomorrow night. The Earth is going to pass right between the moon and the sun, and as a result, kind of giving it a reddish orangish color. It's not going to look exactly like that, but what you'll notice tomorrow night as the maximum eclipse begins to unfold, which will be around, let's say, 10:30 to about midnight. The max eclipse will be at 11 p.m. But what will happen is the moon will enter the Earth's shadow, or the umbra, and it'll begin to turn that orangish/reddish color. And it's not going to be super bright, but you will notice the eclipse as the moon darkens and it turns that color. And then after about, let's say, 12:30 Monday morning, early after midnight, that's when the partial eclipse ends and the moon starts to move out of the Earth's shadow. So there's two shadows, the penumbra and the umbra, which the umbra is the main and darkest shadow of the Earth on the moon, projected on the moon. All right, 7-day forecast, everybody. It is going to be a hot one. Take a look. It is going to be 98 to 99 for the next 3 days, and then it goes up a level, 99 to 100 Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Each afternoon will threaten and challenge a record in San Antonio. And most likely, if you're watching from Austin, if you're watching from Fredericksburg, Kerrville, from Beeville, from Pleasanton, from Del Rio especially, each location, each city is likely to have new records this upcoming week just because it is way too hot too early. This is a very unseasonably hot pattern. This is temperatures we see. These are temperatures we see in the summertime, all right? June, July, August. Matter of fact, early August is the hottest time of year, and you can see there's no significant rain chance. Lunar eclipse tomorrow night at 11 p.m., and just clear, and just sunny, and just hot, 100 degrees, waiting for us almost every afternoon going forward. So get ready for that, guys. If you have any questions, let me know. And we are going to definitely stay on for a little longer. But again, if you have any questions, let me know. We'll be talking about the forecast. And if you have any questions about Houston, Dallas, Austin, Del Rio, the weather across the nation, let me know. And we can always take a look at some of that too. People are saying, close the ovens and open the freezers. It's too early for these crazy high temperatures. Yeah, I know. It's way too hot. Thank you, Sierra, so much. Yeah, I'll be on at 10 o'clock tonight from 10 to 11 here at Kent's 5. So I'll be giving you the latest on local news, sports, weather, and all that good stuff. All right, guys, I'll end on this and along with the 7-day, but I'll let the graphics roll. But if you have any questions for me specifically, feel free to add me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and I can answer your questions there. I mean, if it's specifically about the weather or anything that I may be able to answer, feel free to ask me and shoot away. But I'll be out here. I'll be here at the station for the next 2 hours. But again, enjoy your Saturday night. Hope you're having a wonderful weekend. And the big story, heat, 100 degrees almost every day. It's going to get hotter next week, if that even makes sense. It was hot today, 97, but we're expecting about 100 degrees next week. So just hot, bottom line. Lunar eclipse, last things to talk about. Again, we mentioned this earlier. This is the lunar eclipse that will occur tomorrow night. There is I don't know if it's a full moon tonight. I mean, it's tomorrow night, I think. I know the lunar eclipse is tomorrow evening, but is tonight considered a full moon? I don't think so. I think it's just like 98% illuminated on the moon phase. Let me see. Yeah. Anyway, I mean it's tomorrow night, and the full eclipse begins at 10:29, and the full eclipse ends at 11:53, meaning pretty much the halfway point between those times, which is 11:11. It is going to be the maximum eclipse, or the totality. Okay, so from what I see right here, tonight is the waxing gibbous. Illumination is at 96% tonight. So if you go out, you'll see some cloud cover, but behind the high-level clouds in the night sky tonight is the moon. That's 96% illuminated. It's a waxing gibbous. Tomorrow night, which is the lunar eclipse, technically it's not 100% illuminated. Tomorrow night will be the waxing gibbous, but only at 99% full. The full moon for this month occurs on Monday, and that is May 16th. But regardless, it is going to be a lunar eclipse as the Earth passes in between the sun and the moon, casting and projecting its shadow on the moon surface itself, which will give it that dark and also that reddish color as kind of the light starts to disperse and refract from the sun off the Earth and onto the moon. So again, guys, that is the lunar eclipse tomorrow night. Otherwise, enjoy a hot forecast. It's hard to gather words to describe this forecast. I know it's hot, but I mean, this is way too hot. This is sizzling. This is scorching hot, especially for May. I mean, these are numbers we see in June and July and even August. This is summer-like heat. We're still in spring. Summer doesn't begin until June 21st, June 20th. I'll have to double check that, but that's usually the time when the summer solstice rolls around. But we're still in spring. We're seeing high temperatures, 100 degrees every afternoon. So just want to reiterate, drink plenty of water, guys. If you're going outdoors tomorrow, if you are spending any long amounts of time outside tomorrow, or any day this week, this upcoming week, please find shade when you can. Take frequent breaks. Use caution. Be careful. Drink plenty of water. Stay hydrated. And rehydrate. Just because with this pattern in place, it lends itself to heat exhaustion and heat strokes. And with temperatures near 100 and the heat index probably near 102 to 105 with the humidity added on, it's just not a good setup. And you can see on that graphic right now, near record heat every day, including tomorrow. And if we do hit 98 degrees tomorrow, that means we will break the 2003 record. If we hit 99 on Monday, that'll break the 2003 record of 97. And on Tuesday, if we hit 98, which we're forecasting, that'll break the 2013 record of Tuesday's record. So yeah, so it's going to get very, very hot, and it doesn't change in the foreseeable future. Every day above average heat for San Antonio. Okay, guys, I have a wonderful night. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. Feel free to add me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, if you have a direct question for me. Otherwise, enjoy a quiet evening. Enjoy the bright moon in the sky. Tomorrow night, the lunar eclipse totality is at 11 p.m. and more heat on the way for the next 7 to 10 days. Happy Saturday night, I should say, and choose to make it a great night and a great week up ahead.